Welcome back to the Roulette Room. Today on the WinJot Roulette Simulator, I'm going to be playing a little more what I would call a more complicated system. It's called Kicked Out of the Casino. Found it on the channel from the Roulette Master. I'm going to go through all the steps. I'm going to do a 15-minute, or I'm going to do a stopwatch today. Slow it down just a little bit so I can kind of learn it and talk through it and everything. So that way, if anybody is, watching it and they want to just kind of see it in a little slower pace, we can kind of go through it. We're going to start with a $2,000. We're going to start with a $2,000. Sorry about that. We're going to start with a $2,000 bankroll system here, and the way this works, we're going to look at the last 5 numbers on the columns, the first, the second, and the third columns. And we're going to see which one of the first and third columns have hit the most and the least. So 18 is in the top, 2 don't matter, 15's in the top, 16's in the bottom, 3's in the top, 24's in the top. So the top is hitting the most. So we're going to start our split bets on the bottom. So we're going to start with $5 units. And we're going to put $25 on each of the 5 splits. No overlapping splits, but each of the 5 splits on the bottom. Then that same column gets $25 as well. So you have $25 on each of these 5 splits, $25 on the corresponding column. Then we're going to go to the corresponding corners above it, above that split. So if we're in the third column up top with the splits, we're going to put our corner bets on the bottom. If we're down here on the first column with our splits, we put our corner bets on the top. And that'll get $10 on each of these 5 corners. And then we get $10 on the single zero. And the total bet is $210. There's no doubling or anything. You just play. So that's the simplistic side of it, is you just play. You're going to have some partial losses, and a few numbers that's total losses, like the 2, the 3, the 00, the 35, and the 36 will be total losses. And then anything that's got $10 on it, I believe, are partial losses. I can't remember on the 0, but anyways, down here on the bottom, I think 1's a partial loss. But on these splits is where you really hit. It's kind of a jackpot numbers. So anyways, I know that's enough rambling for the time being, but we're going to go ahead. You can see how everything's laid out. We're going to go ahead and start playing. We'll start my timer here, and then we're going to spin. $210 bet. I really like playing on the WinJot Simulator. There's a 9 red. You'll see there's a partial loss of 120. So all we're going to do is just rebet and spin at the $210 level. And there's the 0. Oh, so we do win 150 on the single 0. So that's good. So we're up $30 even though we lost the first one. So I stand corrected there. Single 0 when it hits is $150 at that level. Now we're going to reevaluate. The 9, the 18, the 15 is up top. And then the 2 don't matter because it's in the middle. 16 and the 3, so 3's up top. So we're still going to be betting the same thing. Our splits on the bottom and our corners on the top. And spin. So we're at a $210 level the whole time. Again, this is called Kicked Out of the Casino. So there's a $120 loss. So we're going to rebet and spin. And if we can start hitting the splits on the first column there, we'll really start making some money. Looks like we're going to end up having to spend it on recovery mode on the first one because we're down 210. So there's a 15 black. There's another partial loss. So we're going to rebet and spin. And I'm pretty certain I'm playing that right. There's a double zero, so that's a total loss there as well. So that's 210. So we're going to rebet and spin. Bankroll's at 1250. 34 red. There's another loss of 135. So that's just a partial loss because we had a little money on the column there. We're down 675, but if we can hit 2 splits, that brings us back just about square one. So right there, we hit 19 red. There's a $315 win. And let's see, let's reevaluate here. So we have 19, 34, we have 15, 9, 18. So of the numbers that are not in, we're still rebetting and spinning. The numbers that are not in the second column, or the numbers in the second column, don't matter. So we're going to rebet and spin. Like I said, this system is a little complicated to me, I think. But, you know, we're still going to try it out. So we just hit another split for a $315 win. It brings us back within $45. And now let's reevaluate again since we hit one. So 28, 19, 34, and then 15 and 9. So out of those 5 numbers, that's what you're looking at. 5 numbers that are actually in the bottom or top column. So we have to switch our bets up. So now we're doing 25 on the top splits. Then we're doing 10 on the bottom corners. Oh, not that. On 5 corners. We have to have 25 on that column and 10 on the single zero for a $210 bet. So this switches it around to let you hit your jackpot numbers in the other column since we started hitting them down here on the first column. So we're going to spin down $45. We're going to spin at 210. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's a little, and see, we would have won that one there had we left it alone, but that's not how the system is played. But we're down 165, but if we hit one split up top, that's going to put us up $150. And there's another loss. So when I watched this system be played on the video, it got up quite a bit and then it came way down real quick. I mean, I guess it happens with anything, but it's not my favorite system to play. Just by playing it for 5 minutes. Like I would not play this in a casino just based on this one experience. But maybe I shouldn't be that way. So there's a $315 win, but we're still down 420. So let's reevaluate here. 27. There's 34. 19. 28. Yeah, so we still need to stay where we're at. We're down 420 with a $210 bet. There's just a win, a 315. Now we're down 105. It can recover quick, but it has to hit those splits. So all you're riding on is 10 jackpot numbers. You have a lot of insurance in the partial losses, but it just, like, see, there's another loss. If we hit a split on this next one, I mean, obviously we'll be in profit, but not by much for what we're risking. All right, so 19 and then 30, 30 and 27. $34. All right, I'm going to leave it at the top just like that. All right, there we go. $315 win. We're up $90. Now we have 15, 19, 15, 30, that's 2, 27 is 3, and then we're going to come 34, 19, so I need to switch them. So we're going to 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10. $210 bet and spin. I really like this simulator. It makes it real easy to place your bets. Here's a partial loss. So now we're down 30. We're going to rebet and spin. So I hope everybody understands that anything in the second column does not count towards the 5 numbers that you look back on. All right, there's a win of 310 or 315 to put us up 285. So we'll reevaluate our numbers. We have 28 and a 15, so 28 and 19, 15 and 30, 27. We still have the ones up top, so we're still going to rebet on the bottom with our splits and spin. Again, we're up 285. We're about 8 minutes in. And there's just a partial loss. So we're going to rebet and spin. And the reason you rebet and spin on that, if it was the time period before, was good to have your splits on the bottom and the top hits, obviously it's still going to be good. So there's partial loss, 135. We're only up 30 now. So we're still going to rebet and spin. Yeah, tell me what you think. There's a 6 black. There's a partial loss. So we need to reevaluate here just to make sure. So we have 6 and 1. And then 6, 24, 1 and 28, 15. So the top is still up. All right. Rebet and spin. We're down $90. We need to hit a couple splits in a row and get a little. There's a loss. Full loss of 210. Rebet and spin. We need to hit a couple splits in a row now, probably 3 splits in a row. But this is not going well at all. But this is why we try it out. You know, if it looks good at one time on a simulator, it might not be good, you know, 2 or 3 times in a row. And if you take it to a casino just watching it, you know, you might have an issue, because right now, if we were playing for real money, we would be losing pretty bad. So there's just a win, but we're still down 225. So let's reevaluate here. We have 22, 36, and 6, and 1, and 24. So we're still on the bottom. All right, spin. This simulator definitely helps it speed up. There's a partial loss. It would have been nice if we could have got that 19. So we're down 345. I'm going to rebet and spin. We really appreciate everybody subscribing to the channel recently. And if you don't mind, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel there if you hadn't already. Let's see. I need to rebet and spin. We're down 465. Not a fan. Not a fan. There's just a win. Now we're down 150. Now we need 2 more like that to put us back up in some profit. We're almost 11 minutes in here. Let's see here. Oh, whoops. Where'd I? Let me put that back and let me reevaluate here. So we have 4 and 33, 4 and 22, 33 and 36, and 6. So we're still on the bottom. All right. So we're going to spin. That's the slow part there. And you'd have a hard time. There's just another partial loss. You would have a hard time doing this on one of the automated roulettes where the ball spins in the middle because of the timer. Keying all this stuff in if you had to switch it up. I don't think you would quite have enough time, because at my local casino, there's only 25 seconds for you to place your bets. And Yeah, so that gets real slow. Man, we're getting hammered with these partial losses. Hammered. Down $600. Two splits will break us even, but still, it's bad enough. There's another partial loss. You know, and I'm pretty certain I'm playing this right, because the win factor on the another one. The win factor on the splits is so great that, you know, using the insurance of the partial losses, it offsets so much. But we only have a few more spins here, and we're going to be blowing through our bankroll. There's another partial loss. We keep hitting that middle column. We've got 1,040 left in our bankroll. Oh, and so anyways, we'll see what happens here. There's a double zero. There's another loss. That's a full loss of 210. We're going to rebet and spin. I mean, everything, we're hitting the middle column or the zero, double zero. So it's killing us. And it doesn't matter if I switch my splits to the top or the, you know, or vice versa, because if you're hitting the middle column, it's still a partial loss. All right, we're 710 on the bankroll. After this bet, we're down to 500. Hopefully it's a win. And that is another loss. And you need to practice bankroll management whenever you're in the casino, because you would not want to sit there like this and just be down $1,400. It just would not be, man alive. It just would not be a good thing. But I'm going to play it all the way through and see what happens. We got about a minute and a half left here. But it's murdering us. You know, you should probably switch your bets up at some point through this. But, you know, if those numbers keep hitting, the point of the system is to flip to the bottom. So this will be our last spin at a full bet. So let's see what happens here. And there is a loss. And about 14 minutes in, and that blows the bankroll. And with $50 to spare, the only thing that I would know to do there would be, let's go put $50 on 17 black, because that's what I would do. And I'm going to spin the wheel just for the sake. And that would be the only saving grace if you hit 17 black, and it's not going to do it. So there is the $2,000 bankroll, blown in just under 15 minutes. Again, if you're in a casino, do not do this, because that would be stupid. Set you some parameters to go by. You know, if you get up so much, walk away. But if you get down so much, walk away. So anyways, hope you like the system. We'll try it again at a later date, because, I mean, obviously it can work. It's just it did not work here on this one. But, you know, that's just the way, that's just, you know, how the cookie crumbles with roulette. So anyways, I hope you liked the video. Drop a thumbs up. Tell us in the comments what you think and some of the systems you want us to play. Hope you like the WinJot Roulette Simulator. I'm starting to like it a lot. And if you hadn't already subscribed to the channel, we really appreciate it if you do so. We appreciate you sticking around for the video, and we'll catch you on the next one.